vibration's gonna be a little iffy. Oh well. We'll do the best we can here, guys. Anyways, welcome back to the channel. I am Dalton. This is Armstead Farms. We are gonna start digging some sand out of our lagoon today. I'm gonna try holding this so it's not so vibrating. Now it is what it is. So our hose had a crystal slug in it this morning. So that is when you drain the hose, the manure hose for the liquid, all of the frozen crystals down that pipe and they're on the outside of the hose. When you shove manure through it, they come and they make a big slug. It's probably a 4-foot slug, and I couldn't get it out. So talked to Jack. I said we got two options. We could buy a new hose. We could, well, I guess we got more than two options. We'd buy a new hose. We could take this one down to the shop and just wait it out, or we could just start digging. He wanted to just start digging. So we're gonna dive in. It's a little bit soupy, but it is what it is. Only gonna be running one spreader for now. Caleb's gonna bring up the Kuhn Slinger. We're gonna run that just because it is a little bit soupy. There's a rubber strip on the front of our box spreader that needs replacing. So Tyler was gonna throw that on, and hopefully we can get rolling here. But anyways, guys, hit that like and subscribe button. Wish me luck. I only run the long arm a few times a year. It's always a little bit nerve-wracking, and then with this lagoon surrounded by gates and metal posts, little iffy. So wish me luck on not hitting anything. We'll get right after it here, guys. Just pulling the spreader around here now. Whew. Back in the saddle. Probably gonna have to be a little bit further away. I have to go that way. It's very challenging when you're used to running the other excavator to know quite how far out you gotta be. But I think this is a 70-footer, and yeah, that's significantly longer, obviously. There we go. Now we're cooking. See, it's really, really thick, but it's still, it's not pure sand laden. We're probably going to be doing this for a couple weeks. Between digging out this lagoon and digging out the other lagoon, we got ourselves a pretty big task ahead. That we're running one while he's emptying, I'll probably take the excavator and try to kind of dredge the bottom and just pull the thick stuff towards me. So that way, if Tyler gets up and running with that other one, we'll put the thicker stuff into that spreader. Now that once we get this earthen lagoon down below dug out one more time, it'll just be concrete from here on out. I really would like to get another slinger in the future. The box spreader is nice when you're running really thick stuff and you're concerned about rocks. Obviously you don't want to put a rock through any spreader, but if you're going to put it through one, you kind of got to put it through that vertical beater spreader. So what I was doing when we used to dig out that lagoon, which we'll have a video on, you know, next week sometime when we're digging that out, but I was just taking the soupier, or the safer stuff I call it, you know, the stuff off the top, and I'd put that in this slinger, And then if I was dredging along the bottom, along that clay liner, I'd put that in the box spreader, because if I were to get a rock, you'd obviously get it off of the bottom. They were very rarely in the top, although it would happen. Sometimes, you know, stuff would get kind of forced up and you'd get rocks in there. But when we put rocks through this slinger, which is, it's almost impossible not to with the Earthen Lagoon, makes for real trouble, real problems. I'll leave it at that. They get stuck in the augers and they get stuck in the hammers, and you know, it's a pretty good list of stuff that really just goes wrong with that. So yeah, sorry if that didn't make sense. Trying to talk and run this thing, especially my first load, a little bit nerve-wracking. Maybe I should just shut up until I get the groove of this thing. Either way, it's going to be pretty awesome having that old lagoon completely done forever, having this one empty. You know, our manure levels will be pretty low for the middle of January. That's a pretty good feeling. So he's got a load on him. He's going to take that out, get that empty. While he's doing that, like I said, I'm going to, obviously this part right here is going to be the soupiest part, because this is where my liquid pump was setting. So we were agitating right here. But if I kind of dredge it along the floor like this, it'd be nice to make a pool, so to speak, for the liquid to go to. So that way, once I get this first bit done, I don't have to deal with the liquid. It'll flow to the low spot. At least that's my thought. Might be too soupy for now to even screw around with it. That's a real shame. I wish maybe it'll warm up, put the pump back in, you know. Monday it's supposed to be halfway decent. That's a good bucket right there. That's the kind of stuff we're usually digging out. Relatively solid stuff. But anyways, we're gonna hammer on here for a while. Hey guys, well, there's been a slight change of plans. That stuff up there is too soupy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put that frozen hose in the shop for a day or two, let it thaw out. We will suck the liquid out of there probably Monday. But for now, I'm down here at our Earthen Lagoon, which has nothing going into it currently. So this should not and will not be too soupy. There should be plenty of digging to do here. Hopefully we can get a second spreader running. Not sure. Tyler mentioned they might have to be moving heifers this afternoon. So that would restrict me as far as people, but maybe Caleb and I could kind of jockey spreaders around, and I could be filling one and he could unload both, or something along those lines. We shall see. But for now, this is what we're going to do. We're going to dive in and just try to get something under motion here. We ended up pulling, I think we pulled like 8 loads out of that one. And it's not that I couldn't dig it. It was just kind of a waste of our time, knowing that I can pump a lot more than I did. I just need to get that hose thawed. So that's what we're going to do. All right, guys. Well, I've been digging down here for a few hours now. Kind of give you guys a little loop. Doesn't look like much on the camera, but again, you're talking about a 70-foot arm here. Let's see if I can get it down into the camera. That's a big one. So we've put a pretty good hole in it. There was a puddle, you know, over here that the pump didn't suck out. So I have a 90-degree elbow that goes on the back of our dry hill pump that'll supposedly allow me to get these lagoons, you know, get a lot more of this kind of liquid sucked out. But they don't recommend that I use it on the Earthen Lagoon because they're worried about sucking up rocks or dirt, which is why I have not put it on yet. Now, as soon as we get this done, obviously that'll be on my to-do list, is to put that on. But anyways, there's some liquid down in here. It's not a whole lot. You can see that's the bucket all the way down. So it looks like it's more than it is. But I'm going to kind of dig a little bit more here than I can reach. This whole floor, nothing in here is level. It kind of slopes up. It's kind of shaped like a V, which makes digging without scraping the ground pretty tough. And over here, it's a much higher level than over here. Right in here, you can see it kind of goes up a couple feet and then it flattens back out there. So it's, like I said, you really got to know what feels like what it feels like when you hit that floor versus what it feels like when you hit sand. And you just got to keep your eyes peeled the best you can for stones, which is also tough because, let me show you, the top here, it's cold enough where the top gets these frozen chunks on it. And guess what? Those frozen chunks look like rocks, but they're not. I actually have put a couple down here that I sorted out because I thought that they were rocks or hunks of concrete, but later discovered they're just big blocks of ice. But they're just like, look just like the rocks that we pull out of here. Also over here, starting, I don't know, right about here, all the way up through to about here, used to be a concrete ramp. So they used to drive down into this, and when I say used to, I'm talking early 2000s. You can see over there, there's hunks of concrete that we've dug out. They used to drive down in with off-road trucks, and they'd scoop it in and haul it out with off-road trucks. Well, the off-road trucks were way too much weight for that concrete ramp. So over the years, the concrete got broke out so bad that there was nothing you could do about it, and they just never dug it out. So over there, you're always, worried about getting concrete chunks in it too. So yeah, all in all, this whole lagoon, when you're digging out of here, is a little bit nerve-wracking. But this is the last time we got to do it, so it's a big hell yeah. We're just gonna take her nice and careful and pick away. Caleb's emptying the spreader, so we are only running the slinger still. So I went over to get the box spreader and instantly blew a hydraulic hose. So so that was a big downfall. I'm hoping Tyler or Jack are getting that fixed. If not, I will do that in the morning, because the hydraulic shops are only open till noon on Saturdays. So yeah, hopefully he can get that fixed, but it's just kind of one of those deals where, one thing after another today. But if we can get that liquid hose thawed out, we can get the pumping up there. Someone could be hauling liquid while we're digging down here, and yeah, we'll just start going at it like this. Also up there, you can see the piles of gravel. That's the, well, here, let me swing over here. You can see right there, just to the right of my bucket, there's a 12-inch PVC. That's the drain for our bunks. So up there where that gravel is, they're gonna cut into there and put a 90, so that water will come over and get attached into the pipes, which right here is kind of a marker, that little piece of pipe sticking out. So they're gonna run a 90 from that pipe down to here, so that'll be going into our new lagoon and help to flush that. Now right now, we don't have to worry about that because everything's frozen. Running those drains is not necessary, or not a thing, because it's frozen. So that's kind of on the to-do list when the weather warms up a little bit, which right now we are up into the lower 20s. So this morning when I came to work, it was an even 0. So it is getting warmer. I think it's supposed to be in the 30s. Well, not in the 30s. It's supposed to be 30 Sunday, Monday, and then we might get another little cool down. I don't think it's supposed to get as cold as it was now, but it's another reason why we really got to go at it here and just get this stuff out of here, because I don't want to deal with mud in the fields. So that's part of the reason we're running one spreader right now. It's not the most efficient use of our time, but hey, if I can get another 25 loads of this laden material dug out, then that's 25 less loads to clean out another day. I've had questions before about this sand laden material. Visually, it looks like it's probably 65% sand, 35% manure. Why would it be 35% manure? Well, a lot of the solids get trapped in this sand as it settles out, and you can really tell the color difference. You guys probably can't see it as good on the camera as I can, but there's layers in this stuff, and some of it's just brown rich material. That bucket there was pretty brown, and then there's scoops that I pull out of here that are jet black. That's just, you know, that's just straight sand. So it's kind of all in where you're scooping and how deep you're scooping, and you know, how it settles out. But it's kind of a soupier bucket there. Kind of starting to get the hang of this machine now. Takes a little bit just to get used to how it feels. So it's got a lot of pull when you're swinging, because it's such a long arm and it's so much weight out there. It doesn't stop on a dime. You know, it'll swing past where you think it's going to. So it takes a little bit of getting used to, and it's always nerve-wracking. I'm always worried. Last thing I would ever want to do is to swing into a tractor. This arm's definitely long enough to do that. Okay, this bucket's got something. I hope that one looked like it ended up being ice. I hope it was ice. Another thing, I'm going to talk to Jack. Being that we really have to get it cleaner than we usually do. Usually we kind of stay away from the edges, but before we fill this in, they want any and all organic matter out of here. So we might fire up our off-road wagon. It's an off-road truck that we cut off right behind the cab because the motor went bad in our off-road truck a few years ago, so we took it over to Haynesworth Farms. They do it quite a bit, where they buy old blown up off-road trucks, cut the cabs off, and you can just use the wagons. So that's what we did with our, we have an old Terex, and we've got the wagon. Being that we got to get a lot closer to the floor, we might hook that up and just truck a lot of it just out to the field with that, and maybe we'll go out with a blade tractor, the bulldozer, and just kind of smear it out, just so we're not risking putting some of this stuff that's on the bottom through these spreaders. I think we've priced out a set of augers for this slinger before, and they were like $17,000, something like that. So yes, it looks like I'm spilling a lot. I'm not spilling a lot, but I'm definitely spilling some, and I do not feel at all bad about it, just because the amount of times I'm gonna have to swing this thing before this is done is a lot. So usually when we get done, we just swing around this, we swing around the pad with a box scraper. We'll smear it all up, you know, smear it all out and pull stuff around. Also, he's pulling away, so he's full now. Some of these superior spots, it's hard to get built in, hard to get filled up. What am I trying to say here? It's hard to fill it up without it kind of squatting down. So I might pull over to the bank over there, right in there, and we will try to start reaching from a different area. At least that's what we're gonna try. Now Caleb's got to get going here. It's almost 4 o'clock. So I'm gonna run him up to his pickup. Figured I'd show you guys what this baby looks like from outside. He said, I think it's a 70-footer. It's quite an arm, but yeah, it's working pretty good digging over there. There's definitely a lot more solid material for me to reach. So we'll pick that away. We'll probably have to fill that hole in and have to do something with these piles of concrete before I can get over there. I might be able to get onto that apron and dig a bunch if we move that link belt there. But yeah, this will definitely be enough to finish out today, especially because I'm going to be spreading and digging here for a while. So, all right, guys. Well, my battery died earlier. Not that there was much more, anyways. Like I said, I ended up just hauling like 4 or 5 more loads, and then I got the spreaders put away in the shop so they're nice and warm, and they'll be ready for morning. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. We'll post another one tomorrow. Tomorrow we're gonna hopefully get her under motion. I'm not sure if that hose will be thawed in time to do any liquid tomorrow or not, but we will see. Either way, be sure to watch tomorrow. Hit that like and subscribe button, guys. Tell everyone about the Goofy Dairy Farmers on YouTube, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.